Welcome into the Lounge, presented by DraftKings. I'm Ryan Mink here with Garrett Downing, and we are thrilled to sit down with first-round pick Malaki Starks. Thanks for joining us, Malachi.
Thank you.
And so I noticed this on, as the rookies reported yesterday, you came back for training camp, and I noticed that when you were walking in, this is a keen eye of mine, right? I noticed that you welcomed us to training camp. Like, that's how nice a guy you are, right? It's like, we're welcoming you back to training camp. You're like, hey, welcome, everybody. Welcome. Like, just a nice guy.
Well, I figured that, like, a lot of people spend time and, like, welcoming us back, and nobody does it for everybody else that's been here.
See?
So it's nice to...
You want to reciprocate
it's nice to hear it every once in a while.
What a dude. What's going through your mind as you return for training camp for your first one?
I'm excited. I think the break was very necessary. I think a lot of guys came back in a very good spirit and right of mind. I think today was a really good day. I think a lot of guys are just excited. It's our first time. We don't really know what to expect. So just really trying to lean on the older guys with their knowledge and, the process that they've been through already and try to go through that with them and, have my own process as well.
Mm-hmm. So as you look ahead to this rookie season, your first training camp, what has you most excited?
Really just to be in a new uniform. I think I've been in Georgia for so long. I grew up 30 minutes from the University of Georgia, and then it felt like I was wearing red and black for like forever. So just to be in, purple and black and, like really indulge in, what that means with the culture and the city and, the building around here and everybody. I think I'm excited just to dive into a new process of my life.
So there's no doubt that there's a lot on your plate. You get drafted in the first round. There's obviously a lot that comes with that. And then soon after that, unfortunately, our Darius Washington gets hurt and he goes down. And so you've been taking pretty much every first team rep since the day that you stepped on campus here. How do you handle the responsibility that comes with all of that?
Yeah, I think just looking at it, as a privilege. I think it's what I asked for. When I signed up, I knew what I was signing up for and really just taking that on with the right head and just staying grounded in my faith. But also, like I said earlier, like leaning on the older guys. Like they've been here for a while. They know they've been through what I'm about to go through. They know how it is. And also like the other rookies, like this is all of our first time. So just trying to figure it out together. And also just, like I'm a rookie. It's okay to be a rookie, and I understand that, and I think I want to give myself that grace, but also I still have high standards for myself because I know the expectations that have been set. So just really trying to find a good balance within that process.
Does it help that you were an instant starter at Georgia? Like you're used to this kind of quick turnaround.
Yeah, I think and it's funny because like it's actually very similar to when I got to University of Georgia. Just like the depth that was in the room and, the season that they're coming off of, just like the expectations, and I think my freshman year at Georgia and then how I took it from my freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, I think it really allowed me to have a outlook on different things, so to speak, coming into a different place and just being adaptable. And I think it's been a huge help, and I think it's been a huge help here so far, and I think I just want to keep learning on that experience.
So you had an interception in your first college game as an immediate starter. Right. So can you guarantee us an interception in Buffalo is the question.
I said it. I said it a few weeks ago. Somebody asked me who I wanted to pick off. I said Josh Allen first game. So it's coming. I'm working on it.
What when you look ahead and you think about like that first game and suiting up for an NFL game for the first time, like what are the thoughts that come to mind for you knowing that you're going to be taking the field for an NFL game the first time in Buffalo? A lot that comes with that.
Yeah, I think just going back and looking at the history, I think I spent a lot of time like looking last year, all tape obviously, but just Buffalo being the game last year. I think I spent a lot of time on that, and also just speaking to the guys and like what it means for the guys around the building. I wasn't there, but I can feel it when they speak. Like when Coach Orr talks, like I can feel it. So just really, I'm excited because I know like what it means to a lot of other guys here. But it's also my first game as well. And I want to showcase my talents, but also just being in the best position to help the team win.
So you went back and you watched the Ravens Buffalo game from the playoffs last year. Obviously, you weren't even on the team, but you've spent time watching that since you've been on the Ravens.
Yeah, because I watched it on TV, but it's different watching it like through tape. So just, and a lot of it came through just like trying to learn like the plays that they're putting in. But then like as I was doing it, I was like, okay, let me go study a little bit, like a little bit here, a little bit there. So I went back and I watched the actual tape, but I also watched the game as well.
I'm curious what the vibe is like in that room. You talk about talking to some of the veterans and hearing from Coach Orr about what it was like. I mean, in the secondary in particular, there's 5 first-round picks in that room.
Yeah.
What is that vibe like?
It's very low key. Like all of the guys are like awesome. You know, like I seriously don't think there's a better place for anybody to be than here. And the vets in the room, I mean, they're what you would want a vet to be. And I think a lot of guys, and I had it when I came into University of Georgia too. Like you come into like a place like Baltimore or a place like Georgia, whatever, with like guys who are like at a very high level, you're thinking, oh man, like I'm a meet a guy with a big ego or whatever, you know. And I walk in and like everybody's cool, like everybody's very chill. And I think it makes it easier for like the younger guys to like really lean in and learn. And when you have guys in the room that are like just vets, you know, and like what you think a vet should be, I think it makes our life a little easier, but then it also helps them as well.
It seems like the bar has been set like really high within your defensive meeting rooms, especially with all the talent that you have in that secondary. Like when you look around and see so many other talented players, like what is that kind of how you're framing this season?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you know, whether in football and life, you compete, you know, and when you're around a bunch of elite guys, it just raises that competitiveness. And I think when you look in our room, like you just see it, like everybody's elite at what they do and can be elite at things that they want to do. And I think it just raises your level of wanting to be competitive and wanting to be elite as well.
Malachi, I remember at the Combine talking with you during your press conference, and obviously there's a big crowd around you, and there was speculation that you could end up here in Baltimore, and I actually remember asking you about players that you look at in the NFL, and you talked about Kyle Hamilton, the versatility and all that he does to affect the game. Now that you're playing alongside him, what are your thoughts about that? And is it kind of as advertised? Is it what you expected it to be like?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's levels to this thing, you know. And he's at the top of the top. And I think it's crazy because like I literally watched all of his tape. Like I trained in Tampa with John Gruden, and we spent a lot of time watching his tape. And he told me that Baltimore was gonna get me. He's like, they're gonna come get you. And we spent a lot of time watching his tape, and just to see the way that he like moves on tape, but then like to just learn from him in person and just kind of see it. It's like it's crazy. Cause like I said, he's at the top. And I think just his knowledge and the way that he goes about the game. I mean, it's different than most guys, you know. And I'm very blessed that I just be able to get to learn from that. And you know the other guys in the room as well. I think our room is very deep. From him to everybody. And I think just being able to come into a room like that and learn, really just soak up all the knowledge I can from everybody, it's been awesome.
You're both kind of Swiss Army knives. You know, you can play anywhere.
Right.
How do you see you two kind of complementing each other and playing off of each other?
Yeah, I think, you know, whatever he wants to do, I'll do the opposite. You know? I'll just wherever I need to be. I think that's what it is. You know, like he's been in the system for a while. Like he really knows the defense. He's very smart. And you know he can literally do whatever. Like you watch him on tape and he's everywhere. And I think I have that ability, and me being able to learn as much as I can will help me get to that point. So really just, you know, I think, you know, if he wants to be in the box, having me deep in the field will allow him to be that more. If it wants to be vice versa, he wants to be in the middle, I can go down and rotate. So it free both of us up as well. So really, you know, whatever he says he wants to do, I'll do the opposite. Whatever they tell me to do, you know, I'll do it. So
is there like kind of a communication and a feel aspect that has to come along with that? Like you have to get a sense for what he's going to do. Of course, you're gonna play the defense, you're gonna play the plays, but even within that, there's decision making that has to be made. Like, talk to me about that. Just getting a feel for what he's going to do and how you guys play off of each other.
Yeah, I think it's different. Like you spend 3 years playing with somebody else. Like you really get to pick up on like what they do and how they move, and then like you move and then you're playing with somebody else new right off the bat, and it's a little different. But I think being here and me being able to get those reps with him really allowed me to like really understand like how he moves, and like just me being able to ask some questions like, hey, like before they do this, like what are you thinking? Like what do you want to show here? What are you thinking? And then like after, okay, like what are you looking at? Like tell me what your thought process is, so like I know. But also like so I can learn from you, but also I know like what you're thinking as well. And I think like he does a really good job of like, hey, like the last day, like he came up to me with the iPad during practice, and he was like, hey, like when they get in this formation, I'm showing this, so like we can rotate off each other, and then like when this happens, like you don't have to be so deep because you have your corner and your linebacker, like things that I knew, but like with the defense, I'm still learning, so I wasn't aware. And he came to me, he was like, hey, like this can help you. And I think us being able to just have that communication, me being able just to watch, I think me still watching his tape, like just seeing how he moves and just talking to him and really just building that relationship, I think it's going to be huge.
You talked about watching a lot of film already. I would imagine that probably even during training camp, it's going to hit another level. Honestly, like take me through, you're done practice, you're done for the day, you have dinner, you go back. Like, is it jump into the iPad till what o'clock for you?
Yeah, I think there has to be like a really good balance, and I think it's different for everybody, but it's also different for different scenarios. Like if we go through an install and I really don't understand the install, like I may spend like an hour to 3.5 to 4 hours looking over the install. But if I really understand it, I might spend an hour to hour and a half or whatever the case may be. But I think there has to be a good balance for everybody. So like when I get home, minimum I'm doing an hour. Like I'm take my notes for a day, I rewrite my notes, and then I look over the install again and I watch the videos. And then I like walk it out myself in the room. Like I'll get water bottles or whatever and I'll move them around, or I'll speak it out in my room by myself.
Yeah.
To really just kind of go through it again. And I think, once I understand it, I stop. So like however long that really takes, I mean, it takes, but most of the time it's in that hour to 2.5 to 3 window.
We heard the report that you were conducting walkthroughs with your rookie teammates during rookie minicamp at the team hotel, which I'd honestly never heard that happening before. Can you take us behind the scenes on that, how that started?
Yeah, so I knew some of the guys. I think it was like the second day maybe. I was downstairs and I just brought my iPad because I didn't want to be in my room. I was tired, so if I did in my room, I knew I was gonna lay down. So like, I went to the lobby and I sat down, and then one of the other guys came down. So then I texted another guy. I was like, "Hey, we're down here. You want to come down here?" Ended up being like 5 of us that day, and then I was like, "There's a ballroom back there," and I was like, "I wonder if they're using it." So like, one of the guys, he goes up, he's like, "Hey, are y'all using the ballroom?" They're like, "No, what do you need the ballroom for?" And he was like, "Oh, we were just asking." So like the next day we come back, and there's more of us. There's like 7 or whatever. So we walk up. We're like, "Hey, do you mind if we use the ballroom? Like, we'll put the chairs back wherever they were at, tables. Like, we'll set it all back to where it was. But can we just use it for like 30 minutes?" So we all go in there and we're just like we're helping each other. Like we're learning together. Like we're moving chairs around and tables and making calls and stuff. And I think it was a collective effort. And I think it just speaks to a lot of the guys that like their mentality to just, coming in this year and, where we want to be at.
It's cool.
It just like leadership is something that is part of this is kind of what we're talking about here. Like leadership is part of what we all heard before you got here, that was part of who you are and how you approach the game. And then you're here at rookie minicamp and you're running walkthroughs in the ballroom. Like that's just, there's not many guys that do that. Is that responsibility of leadership something that really matters to you?
I think it's something that I've just always seen. Like I think, my dad's the best leader I've ever seen in my life. And I think, that's very biased. But like just the things that we've been through, and just the way that I see him move, he's not perfect, but I think he's the perfect dad to me. And I think just the way to watch him move and the way that he was a leader. And I think I I think I wanted to be that in my own way, and I think I really figured that out in high school. But when I got to college, I think you really had to figure out how to follow the right people before you could lead, and I think I followed the right people to allow me to take pieces of what they do and put it in my own bucket. So I'm able to pull things but still be myself. And I think I want to do that here too. Like we have a great group of guys, as I was talking about earlier, and like I understand like what it means to come into a place that already has guys established and kind of maneuver around that. And I'm not worried about being the best leader because we have a bunch of leaders. I'm worried about being the best version of myself and leading the guys that I can. And eventually I'll grow in that role, but it's not something I'm like, oh, like if I don't jump into it now, I'll never get to it. Like I understand that it takes time, and I still got to learn. Like this is a new place, this is a new system, new culture. Like things are different here than they are other places, so I'm still learning as well. So like I can't come out here and yell at people, whatever, and I'm still learning myself. And I think that's something you also have to take into account. Like you can't ever ask somebody to do something you wouldn't do yourself.
Right.
I mean, I think just coming here and learning, I think is very natural, but I think it's going to take time.
What was it about your dad as a leader that really inspired you?
Yeah, I think he I just never saw him stop working. Like even when we didn't have anything, like he literally was always working. I think there was a period of time where like I saw my dad for like maybe like an hour a day, maybe, and then he'd go back to work, day shifts and night shifts. So just the way he handled his business around people and the way he worked, and like it's weird, like he was always competing like with life, and I think that's like where my competitive spirit comes from, but also just like the people that he was able to like bring along with him, even when we didn't have anything, like he was bringing people along with him and whatever. And I think that really, I saw that, and like I just wanted to grab a hold to it, and just kind of have something like of that of my own.
What in your mind makes a good leader?
I think somebody that's true to themselves, that doesn't compromise themselves for anything or anyone. And I think somebody who stays grounded, but also like can point stuff out, but can take it as well. I think if you're a hypocrite, you can't be a leader. I think those two don't mesh together. And I think guys who can really be in both buckets, who can call stuff out, see something, say something, see something, and then also when that gets done to you, you can take it and flip it and work on it. Like there's no like bickering or whatever, being coachable. Yeah. I think that's huge. And guys with respect, like you got to earn that role. You got to do things the right way. You got to not just be a great football player. You got to be a great person. Like you got to live right on and off the field for guys to really respect you. And I think when you look at that, we got a bunch of guys in this building who have that, and I'm just super excited to learn from those guys.
I think it's crazy that you're like half my age. It's just like, like just you're being around you.
He's like, already more mature than you.
100% he's more mature than me. 100%. What's something that will remind me and our listeners that you're like half my age? All right, like tell me something.
Well, what year were you born?
2003.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, but that's like, just when you hear it out loud, it's like, what year did you graduate high school?
What, 2002? Okay. I'm so old I can barely remember. Yeah. Oh, golly. Like, all right, what's like something that a hobby of yours that'll be like, all right, this guy's 21 years old. You know what I mean?
I like to FaceTime my dog. Like,
all right.
Because like he lives at home. So like, I'll call my fiance's dad, and like my dog, like he understands FaceTime. So like when it rings, he'll like run to the phone, and like when I answer, like he'll turn his head. Yeah. And like I'll talk to him, and he'll like just kind of whatever. Yeah. But really, like I still watch Disney Channel.
All right, that qualifies. That'll work.
I was about to say if that helps, I'll still watch Disney
Channel. So. It's just so crazy. Like, have you always felt like that you were older and more mature than the other kids around you?
I think it played a role, like me having to grow up pretty fast.
Yeah.
I think it changed the way that I saw things like in life, and about also like not always having a lot made me like really appreciate and understand like the little things in life. But I think I've always kind of felt like I was a little bit more mature than like my age group, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good thing. I think like people say like I miss out on a lot of stuff, but I don't feel like I'm missing out. Like
Seems like you're doing all right.
I love my life, so I'm very happy about the way I handle my business.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of times you feel like you had to grow up fast. Why do you feel that way?
Yeah, I think at an early age I lost my cousin. He died of a homicidal suicide. And then also just we were homeless twice growing up. So I didn't really have a lot. I had enough, but it's not like I could go in the store and want something and leave with it, But also, I had a really great group of like friends around me, but everybody's life was like different, So like I'd see things and like I'd understand like, okay, like we're not there yet, and I get it, And I think also just like my faith has been like really huge. I think at my early age when I lost my cousin, like I struggled with my faith. Like my dad is the deacon at the church. My mom's in the choir. Me and my sister were in church every Sunday. And then at an early age, like when that happened, I like had a lot of anger and had a lot of confusion. And I was lost in my faith. And I think as I got older, I think maybe it took like 2 years. So I was like 9 or 10, maybe around that time. I think we were in church and it just hit me, and then like I really just sat there and had my time with God and talked, and then like talked with my parents. And I think like me growing in my faith also like kind of helped me mature as a person very early. And I think, it was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
You're really an open book. Like in this conversation, I commend you for just being, as open and talking about kind of hard things and challenging things that you've experienced in your life, which is, I think, speaks to that maturity that we're talking about. What allows you to be kind of an open book in that sense?
I think I've spent so much time like holding it in, like I think like it's like some of my best friends like to this day who are gonna be at my wedding, like they didn't even know any of this stuff about me in high school. And then like it hit me, I was like, nobody really knows anything about me. Like people know I'm good at sports. People know like I'm a cool, chill guy, but like nobody really knows anything about me. And then as I got to college, I kept growing more in my faith. And then like I got to a point where like it was okay for like I felt like it was okay for me to let myself express, like my life and who I am and what's been happening or whatever the case may be. I thought that like I was very comfortable with myself. I didn't really care about others' opinions and what it might be. And I think once I got to that point, I was ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were 7 years old when you lost your cousin,
yes,
wasn't it? Yes. And you mentioned that you were homeless during, it was around that time from what I understand, right? Can you just take us back to that time and what was happening then? Like what does that life look like for you? Is just finding temporary housing or whatnot?
Yeah, I think it was crazy. Like the day before my cousin passed away, he was at my house. We're outside. Playing football, wherever, running around, playing freeze tag, whatever. And we were actually supposed to go to Phenopolis the next day. And then I kept asking my dad, I was like, hey, can I go spend a night? Can I go spend a night at his house or whatever? My dad kept saying no. And I was so mad. And then we woke up. Parents went to work, dropped me off at my grandma's, went to work. Grandma got a call. Everything had happened. And then, like, I spent so much time being angry at my dad for not letting me go. And then it's like, I believe everything happens for a reason. And that helped me in my faith as well. Just having that talk with him and just realizing that, like, I don't know, and he doesn't know, like, why he said no. Like, but, like, if he didn't, maybe I wouldn't be here. Maybe things could have turned out differently. Who knows? But I think that was huge. And then like also just being homeless, like the first time we lived with my aunt, the second time we lived with a family friend, and just really, just figuring it out as a family. I think we grew very close during that time. And I think just watching my parents work and watching how they handled everything did a lot for me and my sister.
Right. Yeah, I mean that you'll grow up fast that way for sure. Yeah.
How did all that pull your family together?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because like it's kind of like the conditioning test, like like when you're going through like a really sucky time with a group of people, like it has no choice. Either it tears you apart or it grows you together, And I think my family being so deep in their faith, it also helped as well. Just really like leaning on each other, and just kind of realizing that like God won't put us through anything that He can't get us through. And where we are today doesn't mean we're going to be stuck here for the rest of our life. And just really figuring it out from there, but also just enjoying it. Still, like me and my sister, like we were still outside playing basketball when we could add a basketball goal somewhere or whatever. But just like really just enjoying life and just really still trying to make memories and the best out of the situation.
So when you comb through all of that and then you get drafted, I mean, you play at Georgia. Obviously, you play at a super, big time program, and then you get drafted. When you're thinking about like the emotions of draft night, are you thinking about this whole journey up to this point?
Yes and no. It's weird because like I feel like my mind's like on a constant go. Like even on draft night, like draft night was like probably one of the most interesting nights for me ever. Cause like I didn't know, like my range was so wide. Like I could have went really early or I could have went second round. I wasn't sure.
That'd have been crazy.
Yeah. I mean, but I didn't know. Yeah. I took the whole day as like it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and whatever it is, I'm gonna make the most out of it. And like we were sitting there, and I remember I brought Uno. Cause I was like, I love Uno. It's like my favorite thing. I guess that's another thing.
There you go. Yeah. You got to try attack Uno, by the way, if you haven't played attack Uno. That's my kid's favorite.
I don't even know what that is.
We'll have to play.
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
So like, so like I didn't know. So like, I brought Uno, and then like for like the up until like pick 13, we were playing Uno. Then I sat down, whatever, and then it's funny. The Falcons traded back in at 26. My fiance and my mom looked at me and they're like, and I was like, it's probably not gonna happen. I was like, there's a good chance I know who they need. It's probably not gonna happen, right? I get up to go grab the Uno cards. I'm like, I'm bored. Like my phone have it rung all night. Like I'm watching everybody. Like I'm happy because like most of my best friends are like getting their life dream or whatever. So I'm happy, but I'm bored. So I'm like, I'm about to go grab the Uno cards. So like I get up. I'm about to get up to go grab Uno cards and my phone starts ringing. And I'm like, for a second, I forget where I was at. I was like, I guess I was like nervous.
Yeah.
Like for a second, I was like, oh, I'm not going to answer. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa,
like,
whoa, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. So like, I look at the phone. It's Eric. And it's like, I don't even know. Like the emotions were like crazy. It was like a feeling I never felt before. But I think I was just so ready, like, and I told him, like, I was just ready to get here. Like, I was ready to get to work. And, like, I think, like, in that moment and right now, like, I was and I am, like, I was sitting in there all night. Like, I was watching, like, whatever teams pass me, whatever. And I was like, whoever grabs me, like, they're going to get the best version of me, like, ever. And I think, that call changed my life. And, I want to say he has no idea, but he does. But, like, he, like, truly doesn't have understanding like how much that call meant for me.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I did say, I called it in February that you were coming to the Ravens. Like, so we make our mock draft picks, right? Every year we pick all 7 rounds who we think the Ravens are going to take. And I said in February, I was like, Malachi Starks is my guy. I'm planting my flag. So I knew it. Right. You just didn't know it yet.
I didn't. And I saw a bunch of stuff and like, I saw like towards the end of it, I kept seeing Baltimore. It was Baltimore. And like at the beginning, I didn't see that. And like, I talked to them once at the combine. That was it. So I was like, there's a possibility, but like they don't even really like they don't really even like really know me, like for real. Like they don't have no interest in me.
Yeah.
And then my combine interview went very well. And then, I guess the rest was history. But no, it's been awesome. It really has.
It's kind of crazy because there was so much smoke around the Ravens drafting you, and typically speaking, like you haven't probably paid attention to this, but Eric, he is a tough guy to read just in general. Okay. So he doesn't want any information getting out.
Right.
And so the fact that there was so much smoke around you, I was like, they must not want him because there's so much smoke around him.
Right.
And of course they did. Right. I think they just couldn't hide it. And everybody knew that they might be interested in you and just the fit and all that stuff. So it's kind of interesting. Like you were kind of thinking almost in the way that I was at the end, that you're like, they only talked to me one time. That doesn't seem like that's going to be the right fit.
Right. And I knew like it was a possibility.
Sure.
But I was talking to so many other people.
Yeah.
Who'd you think you were going to go to?
Then I thought there was a few places. I thought I could either end up in Miami.
Mm-hmm. I heard that one a lot too.
I did too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I could end up in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I heard Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
I heard
Mike McDonald.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I heard Tampa. And it's funny because after Eric called me, my agent showed me a text, and the Chiefs were about to, like, if he didn't get me, the Chiefs were going to get me.
Really?
That makes me happy.
So, that was another possibility. So, like, I really didn't know. Like, it was my range was so wide. But I was like, man, like, I would love to go there, but they've only talked to me once. Like, they don't want me. Like, it's not gonna happen. And like I remember Gruden, like he was like, Baltimore is gonna get you. Baltimore is gonna get you. And I was like, you don't know what he's talking about.
You guys probably had a good laugh about that when he was here at minicamp.
Yeah, we did. But it's truly a blessing. It really is.
Well, I think that I knew it because you check so many boxes. You check practically every box there is, except for two. Okay, so
Cool.
well, number one, you don't really like picking crabs. I found that out a few weeks ago.
Okay, so it's not even the fact that like I don't like picking crabs. I just feel like I'm very like, I'm not lazy, but like when I don't need to be active, I'm not active.
Okay, you're chilling, right? Like you're on your downtime. You don't want to be putting that much effort into crabs.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like you put a lot of effort and you don't get a lot of food out of it. So like, now like if somebody were like to like do all the work and then lay the crab on the table,
I like the crab cake. It's already picked for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just don't like the work. It's just too much.
All right. And number two, you're a Troy Polamalu guy. I mean, that's the only other part. As a devoted Ed guy growing up who had many debates, Ed, Troy, just saying.
Okay, let me put this out there. I think Ed is the best safety to ever play the game. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yes.
I think I grew up watching Troy.
Yeah.
Like when I went in the living room, like for some reason they were always on the TV. Like it's just like the only game that like my parents or whatever everybody was watching. Yeah. And I think like the way that I watched him like move around and like,
I mean, Troy was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to take it. Troy was awesome.
And I think that's what it was. But I think like I will stand on the table like it is the best safety to ever play the game of football.
There we go.
Without a doubt.
Totally redeemed yourself.
Without a doubt. And like it's crazy because like I knew about like the whole Pittsburgh thing and Baltimore. Like I knew about it because like we had some guys that played at Georgia that played at Pittsburgh or but for some reason like it didn't really click. Like my first interview here, they media team is hilarious. My first interview here, they had like these cards, right? And I had to read off the cards or whatever. And I think you were in there with me. And they were like, how do you feel about I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan growing up or whatever. And like it didn't hit me until I got here and I was like, oh no. Dang.
I loved your answer. You're like, guys, I was a kid.
Like
you gotta let it go.
You let it go. It was years ago.
That's awesome. Well, I forgot to ask you one question. And speaking of Ed and interceptions, because honestly, like part of the reason why I thought you were going to become a Raven is because when I watched your college tape and some of those picks that you made, I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Like I was like, this reminds me of my favorite player of all time growing up, Ed Reed. Right. Like that's why I was like, this dude is meant to be a Raven.
Right.
I'm just curious, like, do you think that there's a chance that you are even more productive as a playmaker ball hawk in the NFL than you were in college, where you had 6 picks in 3 years? Like, do you think that like your game, and especially if you play more free safety potentially, as opposed to moving around all over the place like you did at Georgia, that like you could be even more productive as a ball hawk in the NFL?
Yeah, I think without a doubt, and I think also like I had a good bit of ball production, but I left a lot in college as well. But I think it's different like here, like it's like really like how much knowledge do you have about the game of football? Yeah. And I think me being around a bunch of guys who are like great at football, have a bunch of knowledge, and me being able to want to learn, I think it's only going to help. But also like the dimensions, like the hash is 6 yards and 6 inches. Like it's so much closer than it is in college. So like my range will help me a lot, and I think just being able to like pick up on the tendencies and pick up on like learn our defense inside and out, and I think that's going to help me a lot. But I think for sure I have more ball production now than I did in college.
Awesome. All right. Well, now that you've cleared all that up, now you check every single box.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Welcome back into the Lounge Podcast. We are coming to you from the SeatGeek studio. We want to mention our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are an official sports betting partner of the Baltimore Ravens. DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Well, thank you to Malachi for joining us. Every time I talk to him, I come away more impressed, and that was the case again today. I think that he obviously has a great head on his shoulders. I think that is like the understatement of the year. But he's really impressed me on the field too. And just every time you talk to him, I think I get a little bit more insight into how he's wired, the work that he puts in, the focus, all of that stuff. And I just think he's going to be a really good fit for this team for a long time.
Yeah, he's an unusual rookie. Like you don't come across many rookies that are just that mature, you know? And I think he's also going to be an unusual player in a very good way. Just a special dude.
Like I liked hearing him say, like him going back and watching the Buffalo game. Like it's a small thing, like, but part of it's learning the defense, but also part of it's like learning the history and like where this team has been in order to get to where they want to go. I think he wants an understanding of where this team has been. And those are the types of things that I don't think everybody does, but he's doing those little things. And I think it's going to pay dividends for him as a rookie. Yeah.
Well, getting the rookies together for a walkthrough in the, ballroom at the hotel speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really excited.
Or doing the water bottle assignments in your hotel room.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little easier when you have other players, I guess, for the full walkthrough than water bottles. But I think all of that just tells you a little bit about who he is, and I'm excited to see what he can do this year. Yep. So now as we talk about that, it's interesting. The one thing we get more commentary about than anything related to what's going on in the football field is whenever we do a draft.
Yep.
We did a draft recently. We did a fruit draft. We drafted a whole bunch of different fruit. And the results have come in from the listeners.
Yep.
And it is a hotly contested
No, it is not.
Very hotly
contested. It is not.
Debate here amongst the listeners in terms of who won the fruit draft.
We have a landslide.
Thousands of emails, and they are very much split as to who won the fruit draft.
You cherry picked a couple, literally. You picked cherries, and you cherry picked a couple emails here that are on your side. But
let me start with this one. This is an email that I didn't. My first email that I'm going to read here, and as always, you can email us at thelounge@ravens.nfl.net. This isn't even one that has me as the winner, but it was just a great email. The subject line is ultimate insult, ultimate tease for the AFC North. So I was surprised to see an episode titled Biggest Remaining Questions Entering Training Camp, and even more surprised that it was a 56-minute episode. We don't really have an hour's worth of big questions, do we? And so I thought about a Browns fan stumbling across the title thinking, wow, even the Ravens have an hour worth of questions. Maybe I'll tune in and make me feel better. Now imagine this Browns fan clicks into the episode with hopes of filling an emotional empty hole with the Ravens' biggest vulnerabilities. He quickly hears you both say there aren't really that many questions. You start talking about third or fourth string positions and maybe Malaki Starks having some rookie assignments in his first game. By minute 30, you're considering the O-line being a top 5 unit, which would guarantee Lamar another MVP. What a tease. That's bad enough. But then to pour salt in the wound of this Browns fan, the hosts start drafting fruits for 21 minutes. One host can't remember the draft order. The other one is besmirching watermelon. What a luxury and insult to hopeless AFC rival fans. That's from Kai Degner. So Kai, thank you very much for that email.
All right, this one comes from Cameron McLaughlin. Cameron says, longtime listener, first-time emailer. I've thought about reaching out before, but have never been compelled until I listened to the fruit draft on my commute this morning. Overall, I thought this was a pretty even draft.
Yes.
You each had half of my top 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 choices. Both of you put together some very good combinations with your picks. With that being said, the tiebreaker was undoubtedly Ryan choosing mango with the 6th pick. Bonus points for the mention of a mango lassi. You probably don't even know what it is. Do you even know what a mango lassi is?
I do not know what a mango lassi is.
Wow, this man is so uncultured.
It's
unbelievable.
It wasn't my pick. You took the mango, so I don't need to worry about it.
Go eat at an Indian restaurant, order the mango lassi, and you can thank me later, all right? Garrett had the most ignorant, inane take of the whole pod shortly after when he said, who drinks mango juice? Only billions of people around the world, Garrett. Just because it's not grown around you doesn't mean that it isn't fantastic. In short, this was the version of the Ravens picking Lamar Jackson at the end of the first round. Ryan managed to take the best option on the board much later than it should have been available, while Garrett perfectly played the role of all the teams who passed on Lamar Jackson.
Well, that's one man's opinion here. We appreciate that email, but Danilo writes, I'm very disappointed that watermelon, which I took, by the way, the second best fruit after banana, so I get banana and I got watermelon, was taken so low. I'd have to give it to Garrett because he had both of those. Mink hating on watermelon and banana was the last straw.
Yeah.
Your only good pick was strawberry. That's what
I doubled down. Here's the other thing I didn't mention about watermelon is like it's impossible to eat watermelon and come away with a clean shirt. So you eat watermelon.
You did say that. I think
you're signing up to look like a slob.
You're a mess, so I can't help the fact that you're a mess.
And if you do the whole like bend over, you get like the sticky fingers. There's just no good way to eat watermelon, really. Keep yourself clean.
I'm with D-Mac here. I don't know what your issue is with watermelon. It's great. Another one, just listen to the fruit draft. How is it possible to be so dominated? For me, it's an easy choice. Garrett, you won yet again, even though I don't agree
where's
with you
all
on
the emails
orange.
for me?
Yeah, I think you guys... I have to lose the next draft just to keep Ryan continuing to draft. That's from Benjamin in Sweden. So another one.
Swedish.
Swedish people don't know fruit?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
What's your argument? What is your argument
citrus
here?
Is coming up to Sweden. Look, this isn't just because I have Norwegian relatives in Norway and Sweden, bitter rivals. But Sweden, sorry.
This is
you don't know what's up with citrus.
This is the best email that in your favor. It says, I'll be honest here. I'll be blunt. As a dedicated and avid listener, you both deserve to lose. That's the best case for you.
I'm printing out the emails next time.
That's the best case.
You're biased.
For you. He said you didn't include the best fruit of all, the avocado. This is from Pierre.
That was a common complaint in emails that we got, which I agree with. I didn't even know that, like, okay, technically avocado is a fruit,
right?
But you
it's
don't
in that
really
category, yeah.
Right. Now, if avocado was on the list, very high on my board. Avocado is fantastic.
Yes, but it just feels like it should be a different category.
Yeah,
it's like
I agree.
A more savory.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, here's
same with tomatoes. Like tomatoes are fruit.
Right. That's hotly debated.
Yeah.
This email comes from Kai Frazier, London Ravens fan. He says, "Hey guys, I never laughed so much in a draft, so I'm glad that we can provide some entertainment for you. When Garrett jumped the gun on strawberry, I nearly had to pull over. That might be the best draft moment of all. Banana first pick was crazy to me. I still stand by banana first overall pick. Ryan absolutely killed it in this draft. Mango late was insane. A lot of props for the mango. A lot of props.
I
for the
knew
mango
that was
pick.
a big pick for me.
Also, Garrett's cherry pick was very good.
That was a good pick.
So good job, Ryan, is what he says. So there we go.
Yeah. Well, there was one that was talking about the undrafted. He's got a whole squad of undrafted fruits.
Yeah, I think the tomato and the avocado and the olive.
He had a stacked undrafted squad.
Well, look, Ravens love undrafted prospects. So if you have an undrafted list of fruits, that's a good thing as well.
It's true.
So again, as always, you can email us at the lounge at ravens.nfl.net. We always love hearing from you. Thanks again to Malachi for joining us. And training camp is here. As you just saw, rookies are in the building. Quarterbacks are in the building. And the vets report next week. The first full practice is coming up next Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. We're going to be bringing you all the coverage throughout training camp. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. We'll be back with you again soon.